Okay, where are we and what are we doing? Well, you can see I'm in the editor. Sent up a simple mission. Me down here with my squad, and we're just going to have a quick playthrough. The reason for this is because I've dug out my TrackIR. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of what a TrackIR is, it's a device that sits on top of your monitor and looks at you, and then you have something, in my case I have the Pro version, which means I've got this device hanging off, a bunch of sensors hanging off my headset, and the idea is it watches your movement. So let's quickly get into this. There's a reason why I've had this for some time. I've had it for well over a year, and the reason I sort of stopped using it is because I've discovered that the thing that hung off my headset was rather fragile, and I've just noticed, having moved my head and my head doesn't move, it's not working. So hold on, let's quickly options, controllers, controller, TrackIR. Should be working. Why aren't you working? Continue. Move my head. Oh, that's strange. It was working when I was in the game. There's my squad. Well, I know the bad guys are off in that direction. So why isn't my TrackIR working? Doesn't help you. I'm wobbling my head around all over the place to see if it's going to work, and it doesn't seem to want to work. Oh well. Back in a minute. Oh, I suppose I'd better, if I'm going to have to be mucking about, I think I should save this. Save? Yeah. Ooh, what should we call it? Save as user mission. Hopefully that means I can come back to it later. Talk to you in a minute when I think I've got this figured out. Okay, we're back. And now it was working when I wasn't recording, but not working now I am recording. Oh, bugger. TrackIR and Fraps don't like each other. That's weird. Talk to you in a minute. And we're back, and it works. Rookie mistake, I guess. F9, which is the default button for turning Fraps on, is also the button for pausing TrackIR. So, yeah. So, an explanation of what TrackIR is. So now it's working. What's happening is there's a device on the top of my monitor, and there's a device on my headset. The one on my monitor is watching my headset, and therefore figuring out where I'm looking. So as I move my head, my vision changes. Now it's accelerated. Otherwise, if I'm to move my head that far around to look behind me, I would no longer be able to see my monitor. What it does is this is a genuinely natural environment. Now if I notice one thing, if I go down too far, it gets confused. Do you see that, all that horrible zooming out? Is because my head is tipped down too far for the sensor to notice. But the things you can do with it, if I lean into my computer monitor and then lean back and lean even further back, heard my chair creak then. You know those times when you're playing a game and you want to look up and lean in and look in? You can do it with TrackIR. So I no longer have to hit buttons to look round behind me. I can still do this. This is what I'm doing with my mouse, keeping my head still. But if I don't, as I get excited, I can lean in and then lean out. If I remember rightly, there's a whole load of bad guys around here, and some of them are quite close. But, you know, I just move my head maybe 4 or 5 degrees to look behind me. And it is a very, very natural way to play the game. Woohoo, there goes my phone. Bad guy.
Soldier, 100 meters north. AT soldier, 100 meters north.
Doesn't improve my aim though. It's still a crap shot. Crap shot's still a crap shot. That was me using old Haverstein hard, but I just like looking around as I run forward. And it doesn't affect it when I'm looking It doesn't help when I look down at my keyboard to find buttons. So whenever you see me do this, because I'm glancing down at my keyboard. Yeah, that's maybe not the best thing to do. My guys are anywhere near me right now.
Soldier, 100 meters north. Return to formation.
So, I'm going to turn down the noise a bit because on the grounds that you'll not hear a damn thing. So let's bring down the audio effects. Bring those down to there. Continue. It's pretty damn bad. There's got a bunch of guys over there. I just nodded. Why did I just nod? Yeah. Incremental lean. If I lean to the side, that sensitivity up a little bit. But that wasn't me pushing buttons to do that lean. This is me leaning in my chair.
Man, 100 meters northeast. Covering fire. Cover.
No idea where these guys are. Glad I've got that look beside me. All over. Now I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna look at this bloody keyboard. You're gonna get a lot of this.
10. Heal that soldier. Rifleman, 200 meters north.
When I look down.
2. Patch yourself up. Roger.
My keyboard.
I've got it. Cannot comply. Cannot comply. Need help. Go. I'll cover. Do you read? Over. 0, 2, 0, 4.
That's not good. Treat self. But it is a very natural way of playing the game. My only concern, really, and the only reason I wasn't using it for such a long time, is because I found that the little device, headset, was rather fragile. I mean, I've had to bandage the whole thing together with electrical tape and matchsticks, all the things. That guy's up there. And he just fell down dead, and it wasn't me who shot him.
Rifle, 100 meters north. Fall back. Copy. Cover me.
God, look at these dead players here. I think I'll keep this little mission. I might extend it, I might expand it a little bit, actually give it an objective. Ooh, hello.
Foot mobiles, 200 meters north.
Come on. So much recoil at this distance.
North.
What position am I in? No, I want to go down one, don't I?
Man, 200 meters north.
Bring that, recoil is way, you know, I mean, there is a couple ways to these weapons. I should really be going into this compound, shouldn't I? So, yeah, it's TrackIR. It works. I'm going to be trying to use it more in my videos. Oh, I've only got 3 rounds left.
Changing mags. Go, I'll cover.
Doesn't help when I'm looking at the keyboard. I have my keyboards to the left-hand side of my desk, so using my left hand, right-handed on my mouse.
200 meters north. Rifleman, 200 meters northeast. Move.
Try and implement it. Yeah, that leanness possibly needs to be turned up a little bit.
Rifleman, 200 meters north.
Haha! I finally get a kill.
Move.
To keep his blooming head down. And that's basically it. I just look around. Getting fine control is difficult. It's okay for quickly scanning around, but if I actually want to say, look there, that's quite difficult to do.
Soldier, 200 meters
right, let's
north.
get in a stable position.
200 meters north. Infantry, 200 meters north.
Yeah, I finally got some kills there because I'm actually in a stable position. I'm in... Oh god, I'm sat in a... No, I'm not. I am down prone. I thought I was sitting. Let's go up to the seated position. Because that is a nice, stable position. I'm definitely trying not to...
Target eliminated. 3. Patch yourself up. Copy. Go! I've got it. 10. Heal that soldier.
Not to look at my keyboard, but I just can't help it. I keep on looking down at my keyboard, which means I'm going to have this continuous
200 meters north.
dipping down to the left.
Cannot comply.
But it is very natural to be able to just move your head. So 10, 6,
Soldier, 200
1.
meters north. 10. Heal that soldier. Roger, Wilco. Man, 200 meters north.
Yeah, that's it. You actually got to hold your breath
Soldier,
for those
200 meters north.
tiny
Man,
little
200
section.
meters north. On the move. Move.
God, there's
Machine
some
gunner.
heavy
100
machine
meters
gun fire.
north.
This is my guys. They're quite a long way back. Trying to lean. I'm having to lean halfway out to get that lean right. Where that would be a lot more mad. Keep on looking at my keyboard. Doesn't help.
Cover me. Go, I'm
I think
covered.
I've got to go about half that range.
Okay, let's go.
That's me. Every time I do this, it's because I'm looking down at my keyboard, which is not necessarily... Oops, that was far too close.
Gotta reload.
Trying to figure out, because you can't
down.
change that range. Yeah, that's roughly where I was.
Changing mags.
You appear to be injured, so...
Go. Target eliminated. 10. Heal that soldier. Copy.
Now this is button push, lean round the corner. And this
200
is
meters northeast. I need help now.
lean around the
I've got
corner
it.
using my head lean. Yeah?
Cover me.
And of course I've become a lot more interested and excited by the game, because so I'm zooming in all the time. Where are my guys? They're quite a long way back.
Fall back. Solid copy. Do you read? Over. Somebody help me. Grid 0, 2, 1, 0, 5, 6, 10.
And we're back. And I did it again. Another bloody keyboard thing. I was recording away quite happily, commentating as I did. And I finished. I realised
North.
I
Machine
wasn't
gun.
recording. Because I gave an instruction to player 9. Hang on, turn the speakers off. Player number 9. And of course F9 turns off
Rifle. 100 meters north.
F9 turns off fraps.
200 meters
I was happily muttering away, chuntering on as I normally do in my videos. Yeah, you missed the outro. So trying to I'm getting crushed the hell out of here.
Soldier. 100 meters northeast.
Nope, no more grenades left in there. I keep on looking down at my keyboard. Oh shit. That's not good. That's not good at all. Did it not go through? Oh dear me. So, yeah. Did I reload? No, I didn't reload. Keep on looking down at my keyboard, which doesn't help. I got busy playing tonight. Yeah, I'm getting shot at. Blood all over the place. See if I can do this. 10, 6, 1.
Roger will go. Target eliminated. Man,
And let's tend my guys up the map.
Go, I'll cover. Move 400 meters north. On the way.
Treat self. Yeah, let's treat self. So, what was I trying to say? Because I'm getting distracted by the game. TrackIR, pretty damn good system. It's not cheap, and that's I'm going to say on that card. It cost me about £50-ish. So we'll bring this to an end because it's distracting me. I'm trying to tell you about TrackIR. TrackIR is primarily used by the guys into flight sims, and I'm not talking about Hawks. I'm talking about the proper flight simulators, and TrackIR is used a lot by that group of people. I don't think there are many shooters that use TrackIR. I suppose this is part of the appeal of ArmA as being a simulator rather than a game. So it does support things like TrackIR. As I say, it's not cheap. I think this cost me somewhere around £150, and I haven't been making a lot of use of it because of this business of the bit that attaches to my headset being somewhat fragile. As I say, I've had to repair this. I've used a couple of matchsticks and some tape to tape this thing up. The other thing is you've got an extra wire running from your headset, so I've managed to tape the TrackIR wire to the existing wire so there's not like things all getting tangled up. I think I'll be continuing to use TrackIR. It's an expensive bit of kit. It works very well. But it doesn't do anything you can't do with the keyboard. It just makes it more instant, more natural, and makes the whole thing more immersive. Should you go out and buy a TrackIR immediately? Well, I'm not entirely sure. It is expensive. I mean, for a lot of gamers playing ArmA 3, 150 quid would buy you a new graphics card. You know what I mean? But if you're one of the gamers who is already, if you like, at the high end of everything they've already bought for their computer, you know, nice keyboard, nice mouse, they've got as much power in their computer as they can readily afford, maybe TrackIR will make it better. It makes flying immensely, makes it much, much better, because as you where a pilot, particularly of a helicopter, their head would be on a gimbal. They'd be looking everywhere all the time. And when you're in the complicated thing of trying to control the helicopter with your input controls, your keyboard and your mouse or your joystick, you don't want to be contorting your hand into yet another concoction of trying to get your head to move in the right direction. Also, if you're flying, you'll want to be putting in your input controls for flying at the same time as independently moving your head around. And if you hit the Alt button, say, to be able to move your head around to look, you can't be inputting the control for banking left or banking right, if that makes sense. So by having TrackIR, it frees the two things so that your mouse or your joystick is purely for flying, not for looking around, and your looking around is handled by TrackIR. So have a look at TrackIR. If you find it curious, you're interested in finding out more about it, YouTube, fantastic resource. Type in TrackIR as a search term in YouTube. You'll find some great things. I know Dyslexy, for the launch of ArmA 2, did a fantastic video explaining why TrackIR is useful, not only for flight but also in infantry, allowing you to look around in the most natural of ways without affecting your movement. So your controls, keyboard mouse or keyboard joystick, can handle your movement, and your head moving around handles where you're looking. Does seem to make sense in that regard. So we'll wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, later. Bye bye.